As tensions escalate in the US-Israel-Iran conflict, global attention is on both the battlefield and shifting international alliances. With missiles striking across the Gulf, a US submarine sinking an Iranian warship, an explosion rocking major cities, experts warn Africa could not remain a silent observer. The conflict is already affecting oil markets, security partnerships, and foreign policy across the continent. Joining me as we look at this is Geo-political Affairs Analyst Tabenyang Etchu, who joins us all the way from Washington, D.C. to unpack the layers to this conflict as we're heading into World War III, as many actually presume. Or better still, can we rightly say that African countries must be concerned? What's your take?
Thank you for having me. Yes, African countries should be concerned, particularly those whose economies depend on oil and gas. Already the market is so volatile, but in these early days, you can see a boom because with the prices going up, it will definitely have an economic impact on their economies. Unfortunately, lives have been lost. And we are not sure with the shutdown of the Straits of Hormuz, how that is going to impact shipping and subsequently economic activity that flows through that Strait of Hormuz to African countries.
Okay, all right. Let me ask this. How might disruptions in the Gulf region, particularly around the Persian Gulf, affect oil prices and economic stability for African economies? Economies that depend heavily on fuel imports. Take, for example, Nigeria.
Well, in these early stages, you can see that the oil prices have gone up about 5 to 16% from some quarters. That translates to major sales for countries like Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Libya, Angola, and all the oil-producing countries in the subcontinent. But how long is this going to last? Would that be a situation where subsequently the prices are going to tumble because this is practically artificial price increases due to the war? What would happen to these economies? So I think they have to take the time now and plan accordingly, but it's hard to plan with the level of uncertainty that is happening in the region right now.
Okay, there seems to be a global distraction. Do you think that the global distraction we have right now in this entire situation could actually widen the conflict and create opportunities for extremists or militant groups in some parts of Africa to exploit on?
History, if you look back at after the Gulf Wars, the invasion of Iraq, the subsequent toppling of Muammar Gaddafi, you could see what in Nigeria, for example, ISIS and Boko Haram, tentacles spread across the sub-region. And this is also happening in the Middle East. So it would definitely have a chain reaction, a ripple effect, because when you create these situations that become so precarious and dangerous, it is hard for you to anticipate what the fallout is going to be. Certainly, you're going to see that factions of the sleeper cells of Iran that are in some of these countries might start to act. Would that also encourage the US and its allies to take action in some of these countries that may be subjected to the actions of Iran?
Okay. For now, how are African governments likely to position themselves diplomatically as tensions grow between global powers involved in this conflict? We've seen some African leaders, or better still, a huge percentage, keeping mute and quiet and just becoming observers.
I think the best position for them to take is to remain neutral because though they have a bone to pick with the economic fallout that may subsequently come because of the war, I don't think it is their place right now to take a position one way or the other. We have to start picking and choosing our own fights. But I'm not ignoring the fact that when two elephants fight, the grass is going to suffer, meaning that the people in some of these places that have difficult economic challenges are going to feel the brunt of what is happening in the Middle East. And some of the economic support that is now coming from major oil and gas producing countries in the Middle East that have been supporting the African continent, the investments, are going to take a hit. So, but Unfortunately, we are really toothless. There's really nothing that we can do because nobody seems to be listening.
Okay, just to quickly brief our viewers, we do hear that the British Prime Minister will be speaking to the press shortly concerning this particular situation in which we're discussing, but we'll let you know when that conversation indeed begins. But let me come back to you, Mr. Etchu, very quickly. With several countries evacuating citizens from the Middle East, I mean, we've seen videos, we've seen comments made from different countries, world leaders who are very concerned about their citizens. What challenges might African governments face in protecting or evacuating their own nationals working in the region?
Unfortunately and sadly enough, people are caught in the middle of this. Even the US itself is facing challenges of evacuating its own citizens because apparently it looks like this was not planned. And you have the airspace that is completely shut down. You have missiles and drones flying all over the place. So it will be very challenging to the African countries to evacuate if they actually have the capability to evacuate their citizens. But if we talking about evacuating the citizens of other countries, what about the citizens of the people from that region who do not have anywhere to go but to hunker down either in their homes or in their basements? It is something that the world needs to act and the war should stop as quickly as possible.
Thank you so much, Mr. Etchu, for speaking with us. We'll continue to keep every single viewer updated with the latest. But thanks for your time, by the way.